Hey, Warriors, thank you so much for tuning in to webinar number 2 for the summer session of Athena's Warriors of Wealth program. Well, welcome to June, Warriors. Here we are. Can you believe how quickly 2016 is flying by? We're now 6 months in. Whew. Those of you that were with us back in January, you probably created your vision board or your dream board with Steve Gamlin. How is this year going so far? Are you happy with where you are? Have you checked off some of your dreams yet? Are you still looking at your vision boards daily and focusing on what you want for your life? Gosh, I hope so, because I want you to achieve all your dreams. And if your dream board has fallen off the bathroom wall and is now behind the toilet, it's time to pick it up, look at it, refocus, and let it inspire you to get back on track. Hey, people fall off the wagon all the time, but you know what? Beautiful thing is that you can get back on. You just have to decide. You know, and when you made your vision board, it's because you have dreams that are important to you, and your dreams matter, and you deserve to live the greatest life possible. You know what? We still have plenty of year to go. If you're falling short of your goals so far, it's okay. We have plenty of year to go. I know that this morning when I peeled away May on my desk calendar and looked at June, I just was like, wow, I love the first day of a new month. You know, it's this exciting feeling to just look at this new month and see the opportunities to be better than you were the month before. And that's how I'm feeling today. I hope you are too. June is going to be excellent. I can feel it. You know, this summer session of WOW offers you the incredible opportunity to use the next 91 days that stretch out before you to relentlessly reach towards your WOW goal of selling $6,000 in sales volume. That's right, 91 days. That's how many days we have left until the conclusion of this WOW program. So that's like 3 full months, 14 weeks, with plenty of time. You know, the intention of the WOW program is to inspire you to develop a fierce focus while challenging you to stay the course and ultimately grow into your greatness, because you most certainly have it in you to run your business, to achieve your goals and create as much success as you desire. You know, I am faced with the task of making this program compelling to both the new green Goddesses and Adoni and also our seasoned and well-versed veterans. Not the easiest thing to do. But whether you're a newbie or a veteran, the challenge for WOW and the time frame in which you have to achieve your WOW goal are identical. The difference is your willingness to be open to learn something new, or maybe even hearing something that you heard before and trying it this time around. You know, I've hired speakers from far and wide for many years, you know, direct sales experts, speaking experts, motivational speakers, and, you know, essentially they say a lot of the same things, but sometimes you hear it, you know, again and you go, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to give it a try this time. You know, and I hope that that's how you feel instead of, oh, yeah, I've heard that before, but never did anything with it. It's all your mindset. It's all how you process the information. And, you know, the 3 biggest game changers, I think, for me in all the years of having speakers come to Athena's have been these phrases, which I love. The first one, if you want something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. And then there's this one, nothing changes unless you change. And 3, the CBAs, you must get crystal clear about what you want. You must believe with all your might that you can have it, and you must ultimately take action until you achieve it. I'm hoping that through this new session of WOW that you will decide to try something new, a new technique, a new business building tip or an idea, and see where it takes you. Because honestly, maintaining the status quo and resisting change only keeps you from truly stepping into your greatness. With Athena's, you have this opportunity to rise above a life of settling for less. I've seen it over and over and over as Goddesses and Adoni from all walks of life have risen to the occasion and used Athena's as a way to advance in their lives. Katrina Vidal right now, she's a great example. She's getting married, and since the day she got engaged, she has used her Athena's business to pay for the many expenses of her upcoming wedding in cash. It's beautiful because she gets what she wants. She gets the magical dream wedding while helping people get what they want, explosive orgasms and all the benefits that go along with them. It's a win-win for everyone who crosses paths with Katrina. Katrina is experiencing this over-the-top success because she is completely determined and driven to achieve her dream of paying for her wedding. It's what makes her jump out of bed every morning and compels her to take the daily action to book parties, to sell products like the 20 womanizers she sold over Memorial Day weekend, and recruit new team members. What would your life look like if you had a goal that fueled you to become an unstoppable powerhouse? I bet your life would change dramatically. I know that it's summer and that this is a time when you can lose focus on your business. There's a lot going on. The kids are home, the schedule's a little lax, the beach is calling, but here's the truth. If you don't work this summer, you will have no business this fall. I know with all my heart that you can find the balance between work and play. You can find your summer business zen. It's as simple as deciding when you will work, writing it down in your calendar, and being committed to working when you say that you will. It's also just as important to decide when you will not work and commit to playing and relaxing during those times. You deserve it, but it's up to you to create it. I know you're here because you care about your business, you care about learning, and you want to reach your personal best. And I'd like to acknowledge you for being the type of business owner that seeks knowledge and a commitment to learning that will help you grow in ways that you never imagined, both personally and professionally. So are you ready? It's time to learn. You'll hear code words throughout this call, so listen carefully. The code words are words, code word or words lets us know that you were here and go towards your spoils of war. And your first code word is delicious, D-E-L-I-C-I-O-U-S. Your first code word is delicious. And again, like last week, I'm going to challenge you to close out of your Facebook and your emails and really listen. Remember that when you're multitasking, reading your emails and checking on your Facebook messages while the speaker is talking, you will not absorb anything that she's saying. So if you're going to invest the next 30 minutes to listen, listen. And now it gives me great pleasure to turn the webinar over to Michelle Archer. Michelle, they're all yours.
I want to welcome everyone back to our Warriors of Wealth Boot Camp. This is session 2, and our topic is booking and the art of conversation. Moreover, how the art of conversation can help you maintain a full calendar all year long. And I thought I'd start this session with cake. What else, right? I'm going to tell you about my favorite cake. It's my great-grandmother's recipe. It's a chocolate buttermilk cake. Absolutely divine. The sponge is light and airy and rich, and it's topped with this decadent fudge icing. If you were ever in the Nashville area, I'd be happy to make you one. And if I offered you a piece of my cake and you declined, I wouldn't think there was anything wrong with my cake because I know this is fantastic cake. I wouldn't think that people didn't like cake or that cake was out of style as a dessert. I would think it's really unfortunate for you because it's a great cake. But that's exactly what we think sometimes when we talk to someone about our business, about booking, about getting together for a one-on-one, and they tell us no. We think home parties are out of style, nobody wants to do them, no one likes this product, no one likes this kind of product, no one likes this company, I'm never going to be successful. We get in this entire tailspin because someone said no to our cake. So I wanted to start this session by helping you get right with your cake. Let's take a look at the slides.
Here's my amazing cake that we've already discovered, and I want to spend a little bit of time in this session helping you discover your amazing cake that exists within this business. So let's talk about that a little bit. Everybody's answers are going to be a little bit different because there's so many things to offer in this company, and you joined for a particular set of reasons. There's a particular set of reasons or qualities that caused you to say yes to this company instead of another. So I want you to give some thought to that. I'm going to share some of the most obvious and the most common, but don't forget that it's your cake and people need to hear from you what you're excited about. So if you were to ask me, one of the top things would be fun. And it is a fact that people book home parties because they had a good time, more than the hostess rewards, more than helping a friend or anything else. They book because it was fun. This is a fun product. I'm sure you've got a fun show model. We're going to talk in a future session about really, really packing that with a lot of fun and sizzle. Me time is a big one of home parties in general, that women primarily, and men to a degree, and we have both male and female consultants at Athena's, but women especially seem to run in so many different directions, wear so many hats, and even when we are doing something, we're thinking about the other 10 things that we need to be doing. Stress is almost something that we wear as a badge of honor, right? A merit system. And so carving out a little me time for people where all they need to do is sit and have a little bit of fun for 45 minutes to an hour is a pretty important ingredient in this cake that you have to offer. Pampering, you have an extensive spa line, which is great. Spa has such a broad appeal, and it might open doors for you that other product wouldn't. And stress is at an all-time high. Most women, more than men, feel guilty about taking a little time out to pamper, to de-stress, to refill their bucket a little bit. You certainly can offer that through your home party model. A little sizzle for sure. Maybe it is personal connection, that just socialization that we're missing so much. It's interesting that the more ways we have to connect, technology, social media, text, the less connected we feel, which is part of what we're searching for on these social media platforms, but it's almost a pale comparison. Nothing replaces getting together with people face to face. And my male consultants will have to kind of bear with me a little bit. Men have a tendency under stress to lone wolf it a little bit, so they like to go be alone. Women do not. We need to befriend and tend. And so when we're stressed out, when we're feeling sad, when we're feeling blue, the camaraderie of other women really refills our bucket in a way that few other things can. And it's an important part of the overall picture of the home party industry success, that connection and socialization that we're desperately lacking. Now, everybody likes to get together, but for women, it's almost therapeutic to do so, and we don't have to complain about a thing. Definitely romance through your products, which is sorely lacking in a lot of places. I think you can point to the prevalence of daytime TV to see how much in need of a little romance women are. So what else is in your cake? Make your own list so that when you share about this, you're sharing enthusiastically from your own point of reference. And when someone declines your cake, you move on to the next person, right? Because it doesn't matter. Some people are going to say no. It has nothing to do with how great your cake is. And when we move forward with that kind of conviction, that kind of energy, that kind of passion, this booking piece starts to fall into place, because we don't live and die by every no that comes our way. We just think, oh, well, next, would you like some cake? So enough about cake. Let's talk about sharing this. I'm going to speak primarily about 2 ways of sharing your business and really growing your business. I think job number 1 is growing the network. Now, you've got a good one. We're going to talk about that. But every day in your daily coming and going, whatever that is, commuting to work and back, going to the dry cleaners, picking up your favorite latte at Starbucks, or grabbing lunch, you come in contact with dozens of people who may want what you have to offer, but they don't know that you have it to offer. And I find that people really struggle with this piece of it because they don't want to be seen as running around passing out business cards or shoving catalogs under people's noses. So they're not sure how to create the conversation or how to have that conversation. And it really does just begin with a conversation piece. I think this is a skill set that we're losing. All kinds of studies are coming out talking about how the teen generation and our early 20s right now really have lost the ability to have conversation, to engage people in conversation, because of so much of how they connect with other people is electronic, that they're losing words and sentence structure and the ability to carry on a normal conversation. So make your kids get off the cell phone and actually answer in full sentences. It may help them later. So conversation on the go, we have to start the conversation. I think sometimes we wait for conversation to present itself. We wait for people to ask us what we do, and that can absolutely happen, but we can engineer it as well. So this is just a little game I play when I leave the house, starting this conversation and taking it where I want it to go, which is going to naturally turn back to business. So how do you start conversation without saying, hey, let me tell you all about me, right? Because we want to use the Zig Ziglar method. We want to get interested in them first. Then we can tell them about us. Two great ways. Compliments and common ground will never let you down. I love compliments because people do not get enough sincere compliments. If nothing else, as you're practicing your skill set of the art of conversation, you can spread a little joy in your path. And compliments are as simple as, I love that color on you. Ooh, your purse is cute. Your children are well behaved. Is that an Apple Watch? Something about them that stands out to you that's sincere and genuine. Great way to start a conversation. The second is common ground. If you're standing in line at Starbucks to get your favorite latte, pretty easy to start a conversation with the person in front of you. You can say, do you come here often? Or how long have you been in line? Or I can't wait to try the new pumpkin latte, right? That's a fall drink. Picking something that you share in common to bridge the distance, and it's amazing in today's society how much distance can exist between two people standing 4 inches apart. Elevators is one of my favorite because some people just aren't prepared to have a conversation in an elevator, and I feel like I get to broaden their horizons a little bit between floors. So practice this. This is really on your homework list for the next week or so. When you're out and about, just practice starting a conversation with someone. Anything that we do becomes habit, and we also get better at it, by the way. Everyone that you come in contact with can potentially be added to your network, and you never know where the person standing in line in front of you at the bank is going to lead, who they know. Everyone has this incredible network, which we'll get to here in a minute. But practicing the art of conversation, even if you feel a little silly at first, the more you do it, the more it will become a part of who you are. And it's so interesting. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and she grew up in my business when I ran a field business. And she'll talk to anybody, and this is exactly what she does. She'll say, oh, I love your shoes, or I love those earrings, or how are you today, or it's such a pretty day that we're having outside, isn't it? Everywhere we go, she engages people in conversation, and it's interesting to watch people defenses come down and their face light up a little bit, and just to have a little human connection while we're standing up cute in line for something. I think we spend half our lives standing in line. The second thing is we really want to listen. So we can be very anxious and very excited to share about our business, share about our cake, but it's important that we slow down and find out about them, because there's something about our business that they're going to particularly be intrigued or excited about, and we have to listen enough to figure out what that is. There's a lot of things that you could say about your business. There's a lot of things you could say about your party experience. The important thing is to say the thing that he or she cares about. And that's why I'm not big on scripting. I'm not big on canned answers and canned business commercials. We're going to talk about a business commercial, but it really needs to vary depending on who you're talking to. If you're talking to a bride-to-be, for example, a bachelorette party absolutely writes itself. That is a no-brainer. Now, if you didn't listen enough to find out that she was a bride-to-be, you wouldn't get to the bachelorette piece, and you wouldn't get that yes or that piece of interest. If you're speaking to, a mom, a more conservative mom, or someone who has a women's group, you might want to go that spa route because it may have more broad appeal. That may get you a yes over something else. So I would encourage you to see yourself as offering different theme parties, which I see mimicked in your catalog, and I would offer that menu item based on who I'm talking to. We definitely do want a business commercial, and a business commercial is wow. It's 5 to 7 seconds. It's very quick. It prompts conversation. And so when someone asks you what you do, this is what you say back to them. So first, how do we get them to ask you what you do? It's so easy. You ask them what they do, right? They'll tell you. And then polite people, anybody with any manners is going to then say to you, what is it that you do, right? Perfect segue. But you set that up. You created that. That's what I'm talking about when I say guiding this conversation. So your business commercial needs to have this wow component that makes them say, that's really cool. How do I learn more? How does that work? So my business commercial might be, when they ask me what I do, I might say I run a mobile spa business focused on pampering and romance. Wow, how does that work? Mobile spa business, romance, what's that? Something that keeps the conversation going. Incidentally, no matter what company you work for, saying I sell XYZ, whatever the product is, or I work for, and the company name, Athena's in this case, really doesn't help you because they don't know what Athena's means by and large. There may be some areas of the country where it's a household name, but for the most part, direct selling companies are not household names. I sell X might not be what they're looking for, right? So that business commercial, better to focus on what it is that you do for people. I'd like to encourage you to hear them say that. What is it that you do for people, or what is it that you can do for me? Oh, I run a mobile spa business. I can come in and turn your living room into a day spa from head to toe. Pamper your friends, turn your living room into a day spa, pamper your friends from head to toe, rewind that. And then you can talk about the romance component of that based on who she is and where she is. So we always want to tailor this to the audience in front of us to keep that conversation going. And I just want you to remember WIFM. What's in it for me? That's what he or she is asking you. Why do I care, right? Don't waste my time with a lot of fluff. The other thing we do is we talk too much. We don't need 500 words. We need the right 7 words to keep this conversation moving along and move to the data capture portion. And I will say here at this point, always get their information. I really think that business cards do us more harm than good, because when you get someone interested, what do they say? They say, do you have a business card? And if you happen to have a business card, you hand it to them and the conversation is over. The conversation's not going anywhere past that point. Now they have your information. You don't have their information. This is not as important to them as it is to you. The odds of them calling you off of that card is 1%. That's 1 out of 100. I would much prefer to have, 75 out of 100 or 100% chance out of 100, which is why you absolutely have to get their information. A great way to do that is to never carry business cards with you. That way you can say, would you believe I just gave my last one out? I tell you what, why don't I take down your information? I'll send you a link to the website and send you some information about our home party. And you can put in their email address. Then you always say, hey, just in case that bounces, what's a good phone number for you? Now you walk away with 100% chance of talking to them again because you have the information in your hands. I really can't stress how important the data capture is. You can do all the rest of this and still sit there with an empty calendar because your business card is in the floorboard of their car somewhere. All right, let's move on and talk a little bit about our network. All right, everyone has an inner circle, this network. We're constantly feeding the people that we meet out on the go into our inner circle and always growing that. I refer to this as the Franks, F-R-A-N-K-S. You may or may not be familiar with that, but that's a mouthful, so I just have an acronym for it. This is really where our inner circle begins, and all of the people that we meet out and about usually go into an associates category, people at the dry cleaner, wherever we go. Typically, we have a network of about 250 people, which is really very exciting. It's a great place to start. So often consultants focus in a place of scarcity, and they have this little list that they've auto-sorted, so they didn't write down their sister-in-law, they didn't write down their brother-in-law, because they wouldn't ever host, they wouldn't buy this product, they don't believe in direct selling, whatever. So they've auto-sorted everybody without even having a conversation. They've decided for them that they don't get to hear about this cake, and they sit there with this little bitty paltry list of 10 people is the average I get back when I do this exercise with people. And they feel desperate over that 10 because all of a sudden that's all they have. And if all of those people don't say yes, they can't start their business. So they start this out from a place of desperation and negative energy. And when one of the 10 tells them no, now the desperation just begins to ratchet up. And they're on their phone with their sponsor saying, I can't do this. It's not going to work. So really important to remember that list is 250 or more, and that everybody really is about 6 opportunities. They may buy, they may book, they may want to sell, or they may be able to refer you to somebody who might want to book, buy, or sell. And that's really the great thing, is each of your 250 contacts has a network of 250 contacts. So it gives you a nearly limitless reach as you're building your business. I think that's really important to stress to new consultants as well, is it's not about who's on your list, it's about who's on their list. It is, if you remember the old movie, that 6 degrees of separation. And it's fascinating as you work a direct selling business, which is all about the network, how you're connected to just about anybody you can imagine. So we have a great product. We have something we're excited about. You have a fun party model. Why aren't we sharing? And why don't we share zealously and enthusiastically? Why is it hard? Why do we dread it? Why does it make our palms sweat? The answer is very simple. Just a little fear, good old-fashioned fear. For the most part, this sharing piece, asking people to book, asking them to buy, and even broaching the conversation of the opportunity, recruiting, is a perceived fear of rejection that we're struggling with. We may not even be aware that it's a fear of rejection that's holding us in place. But what's so interesting is that rather than tapping into the network we have, we would rather go spend $200 on a trade show, stand on concrete for 8 hours or 3 days, put out a fishbowl drawing to get leads when we already have a nearly limitless lead pool. So you have to look at that and say, why would we be willing to do that when we already have thousands and thousands and thousands of potential leads to talk to? The answer is simple. It hurts our feelings less for a stranger at a trade show to ignore us than it does for our sister to tell us, no, I don't want to book a party. I don't like home parties. I hate those things. Whatever she says, that becomes personal to us. And the stranger on the trade show floor isn't personal to us in any way, shape, or form. So we take what is a business question. Would you like to host a home party? Our sister says no. And now all of a sudden we get into this headspace of, she never supports me, my family never supports me, I support everybody else. And we get in this tailspin, of an emotional tailspin about the relationships in our life. And all of a sudden, a simple question, would you like a catalog? Would you like to book a home party? Becomes a referendum on the relationships in our life. It's so overwhelming. And that doesn't happen on the trade show floor. So instead of framing it for ourselves correctly and saying, my sister's not a home show person, right? It becomes about all the other relationships in our life and becomes this huge, overwhelming burden that we're now carrying around, and we feel absolutely miserable over it, which is ridiculous when you think about it, but we don't stop to think about it. We spend most of our lives on emotional autopilot, just going through the motions of it. So the important thing to remember here is really the law of averages. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Even if it's your sister. Your sister is only one name on a prospect list of 100 people, 250 people in a nearly limitless pool. And it isn't her responsibility to support you, by the way, and host a home party for you. I think we have that expectation a lot, particularly when we're new, and it really disappoints us. Maybe they just don't think they like home parties. You have an opportunity to turn that around a little bit. I would remind you that anytime you're talking to anyone about booking, you're having a conversation about your really fun party and your really fun product and your great hostess program and your low pressure sales, right? He has superimposed in the middle of that conversation the worst home show experience they have ever had. So now You're talking about one thing and they're talking about something else, and your job all of a sudden has become to talk them into that horrible experience. So it's helpful to get them back on your page of music by finding out, have you ever done a home show before? What kind of company was it? How'd that go for you? Find out what's going on in their head. Quit taking it so personally. Here's how this fear of perceived rejection masks itself, because again, we have 60,000 thoughts or something a day, and most of them don't even really register. They just flip through our head at this quick rate. It masks itself like this. I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to be an imposition. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, right? So I'm just not going to ask her, or I'm going to wait for them to ask me. If they were interested, they would ask me. Absolutely not true. So just remember that you do have this broad list, and I do want you to write that list down. That's part of homework too. You have to have that list on paper. It can't be floating around your head. You can't work a list on your head. You can't remember everything in your head. Half the time I can't remember why I went in the kitchen. How in the world are you going to remember 100 names on an imaginary list in your head? You're not. So you have to be methodical about this and constantly adding to that list. It should constantly be growing. So your list, remembering that everybody isn't a yes, remembering that it isn't personal, and you just have to move on to the next person and offer what you have to offer. Your sister doesn't carry more weight than anyone else on the list, and it doesn't bode badly for the rest of the business because she doesn't want to host a home party. It's okay. So let's talk about your calendar, your schedule, and really, really getting serious about filling your calendar. I love calendar blocking and going ahead and selecting target dates, setting goals of how many you want to hold a week. How many people do you want to get in front of in a month? And let's break that down weekly. And you can get in front of those people either one-on-one, which has lots of advantages, or in a group, in a party, which leverages that group dynamic, or a mix of the two. And I really recommend a mix of the two. Everybody doesn't see themselves as a home party person, and the name of the game is getting in front of them somehow. I'm huge on people contact. We can always sell more, book more, and recruit more when we see people face to face. And I think in our society, it's so easy to hide out at the house all day long behind social media and feel like we're working and connecting instead of really getting out and seeing anybody. So give that some consideration. Set the share goal for yourself in a month. For example, if you shared with 30 people and half of them bought at $50, you can do the math on the sales that way. So if you need to sell $1,000 a month, figuring a 50% buy rate, you may need to see 50 people in a month or 40 people in a month to make that goal. Goals don't materialize and sales don't fall in your lap. We have to go out and get them, and we have to work strategically to create sales in our businesses. So select your target spots. This is such an easy thing to say, and it's an easy thing to do, but people seem to really struggle with it so much. So when I say to someone, what nights of the week do you want to hold home shows? What spots on your calendar? They say to me, I'll do it anytime. I'm desperate. I have to get these booked, right? I've got to have so many. And they go in that little desperation space. And I'm telling you, people can smell desperation a mile away. So you need to calm down and pick your party dates. Is that Monday night? Is that Friday night? Incidentally, Tuesdays and Thursdays are really good nights. There's less conflict, less Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, late meetings, things like that to conflict. If Wednesday nights are a night that you want to go bowling, for example, part of the joy in running a direct selling business is living your life. So mark off Wednesday because you bowl, and that's good. Socialization, bucket filling, and you need it. If Sunday is a family day, mark it off. They'll book Saturday, right? But we feel like we have to be so accommodating, almost as if there's one date in the whole 365-day year at one specific time that they'll do it, and if we don't offer that one, the answer is no. And that's just not the case. We need to make this simpler for people. So select your target spot so that you get to put your life in first. Your life is a big rock. Your activities, your children's activities, your downtime, these are large rocks. They go in first. Then we mark, highlight, put a sticker on it, whatever you want to do, the dates and times that you are available. People will book then, and it makes the booking process actually easier. When we give them let's say a blank calendar of 30 or 31 days, they're less likely to pick a date on the spot than if there's only a handful of dates. It's that paradox of choice. Too many choices equals no choice every time. So when we have 6 or 8 dates stickered and we say, what's the best night of the week for you? And they say typically Tuesday, you very easily can say, oh, I have the 14th left. How does that work? Oh, I think that works fine. Great. She's booked. He's booked, where they would not have been if you said, what day in June do you want to do it, or what day in July do you want to do it? So this target spot thing is so, so important. Incidentally, when I do home parties or home shows, I have a printed calendar with my stickered hot dates so that they know exactly what's available, and we're going to get to booking at the party in a future set, but this party calendar can become your best friend. And now we're just going to start filling them. We're targeted on what spots we need to fill. Now, nothing to it but to do it, right? So let's talk about how that begins. How do we share about the business and share about the party opportunity and talk to people about booking one of their own? Well, it's easier than you think, and it goes a little something like this. We're going to start by hosting our own in the month of June, and that's where we are. I know that you just came out with new product. It's a perfect opportunity to call people and say, I'm so excited. We just came out with a new summer product. I'm hosting a summer launch, or a summer, whatever you want to call it, at my home on the 14th. Are you available? Oh, yeah, I think I am. Okay, great. So this is a much easier conversation than calling them up cold in the middle of making dinner when their head is a million other places and trying to talk them into cooking, cleaning, and getting some friends together, right? Most of the time when we get a no on the phone, it's because their head is somewhere else, right? Because we've caught them in the middle of something, if we get them on the phone. If we're texting them, they're going to completely ignore us. So host your own. We're going to call and personally invite people. We'll get to that. I recommend spa. You all have a big spa line, and spa is a broad appeal. So if you think about a funnel, spa is a huge funnel at the top, whereas some of the romance products might be a narrower pipeline at the top. So the more people that you can feed into that funnel, the better. So I recommend that you do a summer sizzling spa or something like that. You can work in some of the romance products, but lead with spa. You're going to begin by taking that huge list you have of 100 or 250 people, and you're going to whittle that down to your A list, your 25 people who are local, people who are fun, people who love to socialize, people who throw a lot of other direct selling parties, people who have large networks, because people with large networks are more likely to say yes. And the purpose of this hosting our own is to kickstart your booking cycle. You will get some sales, you might get some new team members, but we really want to set it up and we really want to focus on filling your calendar for the rest of the summer. You want to select a specific time versus an open house style. Very often we think if we do open house style and it's 6 hours or 8 hours, or I've heard people do them for 3 days, like over the weekend, we think more people will show. And what happens is you get put last on the list because they have more time to get by your event, and they go do everything else on their to-do list, which is mighty, particularly for women, and they run out of time and they don't get by your open house. So you will actually have a better turnout if it's at 6:30 on Tuesday than if it's from 2 to 8 on Sunday or something like that. Here's the great part. It doesn't matter who attends, because we're using this as a conversation piece to book parties, to sell product, and to schedule some recruiting interviews. It's just a soft touch. Let me invite you to be my guest approach, more than calling people saying, have you ever thought about doing this? Or why don't you book a party? Or do you need anything, right? It's just a little bit of a softer approach, more engaging. So I want to talk about inviting people for results, really getting people there. We want to extend personal invitations. And I did put a woman on a phone, and I do know that it's 2016, and I realize that we don't call that many people anymore. That's what really, really distinguishes this. When you call them, they're going to wonder, what the heck are they calling about? And you can leave a voicemail is basically what you're going to do. You may catch a few people, but for the most part, it's just going to be a really quick voicemail. Hey, it's Michelle Archer. I'm really, really excited. I just came back, or all of our new summer line is out. I'm hosting a poolside get-together for, my friends and top shelf clients. It's on the 16th. Hope you can make it. I'll send you a follow-up text. Click, bye, and you move on to the next one. They can't get your energy and enthusiasm through a text, no matter how many emojis you use. And I know some of you are quite skilled with emojis. It would be like watching this webinar and having to read all the words instead of hearing my inflection, my enthusiasm, my excitement over it. The same thing for them. You'll get better results if you take the 30 seconds that it will take you to leave them a quick voicemail message, follow up electronically. We're going to ask them to save the date. It's the 17th. Save the date. I hope you can make it. Bring a friend. We're going to have such a great time. I can't wait. And then same thing following up. But this is a serious event. It's really important to me that you're there, so please save the date, as if we were planning a wedding or something. These aren't just Southern rules, by the way. These rules apply everywhere. You want to set a confirmed goal for yourself of 12 guests. So out of your 25 A-list, you want 12. I'm coming. Do you need me to bring ice, right? Confirmed. And we want to ask them to bring a friend. I encourage you to focus in everything you do on broadening the network. It really is the name of the game. And so if each of those guests brings, or each of those, your guests brings a guest, brings a friend, now you have however many new people to add to your network. You're also going to lose some of that 12. Probably it'll drop down to about 8 because life is busy and that's what happens. So you're down to 8, but everyone's bringing a guest, or most people are. You're back up to 12 to maybe 16. If you have that problem, be grateful. And that's a heck of a launch event, as a matter of fact. After that, we want to layer in postcard reminders. I mean snail mail, people. Why? And I'll just speak for women right now. Men will probably throw in the garbage. Women will stick it on the refrigerator. And every time they make dinner, every time they unload groceries, every time they get something out of the kitchen, there it is reminding her, hey, Michelle Archer has something on the 17th. Don't forget, you said you'd go to that, and you're supposed to be bringing a friend. Life is busy, and so our job is to remind people. So the phone call, message followed up by the text is the invitation. We want to send a postcard, and then we want to create a Facebook event more than groups. I spend a lot of time on social media. I understand that a lot of people are using groups. That's not how groups were actually designed. And if you're paying attention on Facebook, Facebook wants you using events for events and groups for communities. So if you're paying attention on Facebook these days, you get a lot more notifications from events that you've been invited to. It'll even pop up and say, oh, you haven't responded to so-and-so's event this coming Saturday. So Facebook's trying to guide our behavior in that way. Incidentally, you'll get more engagement in your event when you do it this way. When we just create an event and add 500 people, Facebook knows what we're doing. The algorithms are really, really smart. They know that we've cattle called 500 people. Those people are less likely to see any notifications of that event at all. And if you want to prove that to yourself, when you're done here, log into Facebook and click your events tab. You probably have dozens of things you never even saw. The other part of that is, besides that Facebook doesn't like it and is not going to help you out, the other part is they don't feel invited. How invited did you feel? How invited will you feel when you look at those dozen things that you were invited to that no one even reached out to see if you had seen the event or not? We have to work in social media. It's not mailbox money to leverage the social media side. It takes work like anything else. We're going to use this as an additional reminder and a communication method. They can also invite friends to it. There is something for your product line to be aware of. You can set your Facebook event from your fan page private. You can also do it from your profile as a private event. That gives you a little more latitude in what you can share. If you set it publicly, however, it's searchable. Someone could find you who is looking for this product line. They can invite friends and guests. So you want to be very strategic in what you post via Facebook, bearing that in mind. All right, so inviting for results. Okay, Michelle, I sat down, I did this, I called, I texted, I started getting the no's, I can't make it. This was a huge waste of time. No, it's not. It's just a new opportunity. I want you to reframe the word NO as a new opportunity. Everybody is a yes. There's a yes answer here somewhere. We just have to solve for it. So we have to keep offering options until we get to what their yes is. So we're going to try this. Why don't you get a few friends together? I'll come. We'll do a mini, whatever, mini party with you and a handful of girlfriends. I'll show you all the new stuff. You're particularly going to love the XYZ, whatever you think she'd be into, will love, especially with your spa line. That's a really easy conversation to have. That's not too personal in nature. And it depends on how well you know your clients too, which is important to know what they like. I used to sell cosmetics. I knew who was a red lipstick person. I knew who was a brown lipstick person. And I would call them, and that's what we'd talk about. When new products came out, I would call and say, oh my gosh, I've got the most beautiful set for you. You're absolutely going to die when you see it, and offer these options. Come to mine, get some friends together. And there's more. All right, focus on fun and easy. We're not going to talk about programs and grids and official sounding words because that's not fun and easy. We're talking about her five girlfriends, a handful of the new stuff, and 30 minutes or 45 minutes. This works around her schedule. She can even do this at work, after work. Offer her some fun summer options, poolside, pajama party, and then share the rewards of hosting. I've got a great hostess program, so make sure you share those. All forgetting, and I hold up a handful of girlfriends together. Nothing could be easier. This is not a big official, difficult sounding party. All right, she says, nope, can't do that either. Way too busy. Ooh, I know what. Why don't we just get together one-on-one? Why don't we meet for coffee or lunch or grab a drink after work? This is a quickie 20-minute appointment, and you're going to bring your favorite new 5 products and the catalog to drop off to her or him. Your focus is going to be on booking. It's so easy to get that booking yes when they're playing with product, because they're a little more emotionally tied to it. When we call them up on the phone and they haven't seen a catalog in 3 months or 6 months, and they haven't seen product in 3 or 6 months or 2 weeks even, guys, they're removed from the emotion of, ooh, that's fun. Oh, I love the way that smells. Ooh, I love that product. They're removed from the emotion of it, and so you're more likely to get a no. When they're in the presence of product, you're more likely to get a yes, because they're thinking about, oh yeah, my sister-in-law would love this, my best friend, oh, we could have a girls' night, that would be so fun, just easier. So it's worth it to you to get dressed and go engage with someone face to face. More likely to get the booking, definitely more likely to get a sale, and it gives you a great opportunity to talk about recruiting. I know you'll have a whole other series running on recruiting, but a great opportunity to share the business as well. And I would encourage you to think about your business kind of like a buffet. There is product, there is hostess opportunity, there is consultant opportunity, and be diligent in offering each of those 3 things to everybody, because you don't know what needs they have and which of those 3 things might best fill those needs. So sometimes people think they don't want to recruit or they're not a recruiter. Just offer them what's on the menu and see what happens. Bring your calendar and bring a host pack. Begin with the end in mind. So head in there with your booking calendar. And I really do like a physical calendar. It's easy for them to look at more than on my phone, on their phone. You know, we live in this tech world, which is great, but some things work better, you know, physically, tactily, that we can hold that and go, oh yeah, I'll take this date here. Silly little thing about people. All right, so no to that too. Don't have time to get by, so busy, swamped at work, don't know when I'd possibly do it. That's okay, because remember that great Facebook event that we created? We added people after we spoke to them, and we've got good engagement. We're having fun, playing games in there. We're going to leverage this with our people who can't make it at all, who don't have time. We're going to treat this like a catalog show, which means we're going to follow up and say, what were you thinking about ordering, or what was your favorite product? Again, this is for people who can't book or attend, but we're also using it as communication for people who are coming to our live event. It gives you the opportunity to expose all your no's to the product anyway, and we can build from there. This starts the conversation. They can invite friends, they can see what goes on, and may think about having one of their own, placing an order, may decide to start a business. So there is no, there's just solving for the yes, what you can do for them, how you can be of service to them, and how you can get them involved in what's going on. I hope all of that is helpful to you. I hope that you're excited. You have this blitz coming up next week, and all of this positions you so well. So let's recap with a little bit of homework, your to-do list, your to-do list this week. Get ready to blitz. Get focused on it, deciding that you're going to book whatever that is. Set your calendar so you're ready to book on the spot as we work this method and slide down the mountain to those who can't come. So we want to build your commercial. What is it you're excited about? What are you going to say when you call? What are your favorite products? And bear in mind, not only your favorite products, but the most broad appeal products. If you don't know specifically what they may get excited about, a spa is always a good answer, but make sure that you're tailoring this, again, to your audience. Pick your date. So when you begin calling, you have this date, you're going to invite them first, and then we're going to move to booking, because inviting them to yours and describing yours and what you're so excited about is going to get them kind of thinking about it. Because again, they're in the middle of whatever, laundry, dinner, homework, who knows. At my house, it could be foosball, where we're upstairs playing foosball. And so you've interrupted in a way that, and their mind isn't thinking about getting a few friends together and, oh, wouldn't that be fun? So talking about yours gets them thinking about it a little bit, which will give you a better chance at getting a yes to the answer. Why don't you get a few friends together? And that's what we want to say, not, do you want to book one of your own? Well, why don't you get a few friends together and I'll have some great rewards for you, or you can get some of the new things that came out. So create your summer launch, pick your summer launch date, and create your list, that A list of people. You have a blitz next week. You're going to be calling. A few calling tips: stand up, you sound more powerful, smile. And if you lose your smile, stare into a mirror when you're doing it. It is old school, but it absolutely works, and people can hear the smile in your voice. I hope that's helpful. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Good luck with your blitz. I can't wait to hear how it went for you.
Well, thanks, Michelle. I don't know about you, but I am definitely in the mood for cake. This call was empowering in the sense that no's are not personal, and we can move forward from any negative response feeling powerful rather than defeated. And I know this call will be useful to those of you that struggle to start conversations. She gave lots of tips to help us engage people to start conversations, not only for our business and to grow our business, but also, if we're parents, to demonstrate for our children what human connection looks like and feels like. Because if we don't, it's going to disappear like the dinosaurs. So if we don't teach our children how to communicate with others, who will? So I think that was really impactful for me, just modeling what connection looks like. We want our kids to be able to talk to anybody that they meet, and we want to build our business. So again, win-win. Michelle, what I love about her calls is that it's basic ideas. And I said it last week, I feel that getting back to the basics is really important, especially in the summer. And, you have the perfect place to practice the art of conversation during the Blitz, which is coming up next Tuesday. How many summer parties are you going to book on June 7th? Set a goal and work towards it that day. We'll have lots of fun marketing materials that I'll post in the booking photo album in the WOW community over the next couple of days. So pick up the tools, build your empire. It's now time for me to give everyone on the call a chance to win an item from the new line. You could use it as a summer booking incentive or add it to your demo or keep it for yourself. It's up to you. You can win by filling out the Google Docs survey that was included in the email that you received with this call link or that you clicked on in the WOW Facebook community. Share your aha moment with me. I want to know what was some bit of knowledge or idea that stuck out for you. You can find the Google Docs survey in the email, like I said, that was in the webinar, or the one that I posted in the WOW group. So click on the link, fill it out completely, easy peasy. This will be counted as proof that you were here for your spoils of war, and will enter you to win the free item. You must fill out this form by midnight on Warrior Wednesday, tonight. in order to get entered to win the free item. You have until 11:59 p.m. on Friday, June 3rd, to complete and submit the Google Docs survey if you didn't have time to listen on Warrior Wednesday. So you still have till Friday. You won't get entered to win the prize, but you'll get your credit for the spoils of war. So by submitting this information, we know you were here, and that's what's important. So now here is the final code word that you've been waiting for, and it's cake. C-A-K-E. I said I was in the mood for cake. I think I'm going to get off this call and go get some cake at Wright's Dairy Farm. Cake. C-A-K-E is your code word. Cake. All right, so thanks so much to our guest speaker, Michelle Archer, for sharing her tips and ideas, and thank you for taking time out of your life to listen. There is no Warrior Wednesday call next week because it's Athena's National Opportunity Week. Yeah! Michelle will be back on June 15th with her third Warriors of Wealth call. So next week, I hope that you'll be participating in a Now event near you. Warriors, you can take the fast track to your goals and dreams, I swear. A warrior refuses to allow their spirit to be squashed and has the discipline to take the daily action to get to their dreams. I'll see you in the Facebook community. Goodbye.